Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda, and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How you guys doing this week? We are here with Season 6, Episodes 7 and 8 of Friends, where we're going to talk about the one where Phoebe runs and the one with Ross's teeth, which there's some strange going on in these episodes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. That is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But we are now kind of at that point, as we talked about in the last one, where we have kind of closed off our beginning of season storylines. Chandler has now officially moved in. Ross and Rachel are now officially moving towards divorce and signing the papers. And we move from here and we see where the rest of this story goes. I will say that I decided for this podcast, after being, I feel like, mocked for my love of Joey's insanity with the one with the Porsche. I brought out my mug that says a moo point. It's like a cow's opinion. It just doesn't matter.
Amazing.
It's moo.
Amazing. Wow, that's great.
It's amazing. I love this mug.
I appreciate that. And Eric, I do feel like, we've mentioned before how Ross is clearly the one out of this group who dates the most people.
Yes.
And really,
I'm not going to tell you that my wife and I didn't once keep a spreadsheet of this where we literally wrote down who's dated the most people, and there was like a bet on this, who we thought dated the most people, and the answer was Ross, and it was by a wide margin. And for someone to be counted as a date, we needed to know that they went on a date with that person and that we saw that person on screen, which hurt Joey quite a bit because Joey has a lot of dates with people that we never see.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I appreciate that. And if anyone was questioning the nerdiness of my brother and
no, it's high.
No need to question it.
No, don't question it. It's up there. Okay, I'll put a spreadsheet together for anything.
And I appreciate that. And so just as a quick reminder where we left things off, we had Ross and Rachel finalizing their divorce for real this time. We had Phoebe watching the triplets by herself and creating chaos at the apartment. We had Joey pretending he had the Porsche, and Rachel was packing to move in with Phoebe while Chandler was attempting to give Joey money without him realizing it before he moved out.
Also, it's Porsche. Let's get it.
Yes, it's Porsche. I know. I'm so sorry. But yes, that's where we left things. And I really, we're going to get into the ratings at the end of this episode, but I really appreciate these. And Eric, I think you pointed out something in the last one, in our last episode, that is all making things align more. And those were probably lower rated for me because Ross was sort of sidelined, and you know how I love, Ross being in the spotlight.
I do. And I mean, what was the last one, right? It was the very last one that we talked about, the one on the last night where Ross is really left on the sideline. And so that kind of caps how high a rating people, I think, are willing to give it. I went higher than most, but that being said, we move on.
Although, this next one coming up, though, that might fly in the face of my own theory about my ratings, but we'll get into it.
All right, well, let's find out. We have, this is Season 6, Episode 7. This is the one where Phoebe runs. And on this one, we largely see Phoebe and Rachel moving into, Rachel is now moving in with Phoebe officially. And we see them try to do something as roommates and go out to the park and do some running together, which turns into a very simple act gone insane. We also get to meet Janine LaCroix. I didn't quite get it. Who is an Australian dancer and Joey's new roommate. And we have Chandler, who is now cleaning the apartment to do something good for Monica. Mm-hmm. What do you want to jump into here?
This Janine moving in with Joey, I don't know. I could do without her character in this series entirely. I think
a lot of people could agree with that.
Yeah. Because it starts out and ends, I don't know, it just changes so fast. we know where things end up going between the two of them. I don't know. It's very strange. I appreciate the guy's reaction as she comes over. Well, and Joey knows nothing about this woman, so he's introducing her to the group and is literally learning about her in the intro.
That is the funniest thing that I think happens around Janine.
Agreed.
Where she comes in and he's like, "Oh, you're from Australia? She's a dancer." And then she's like, "Well, I'm going to go back." And they shut the door and Joey's just oh
my gosh.
And I love Ross. Thank you for bringing her into our world.
And Chandler, unbelievable. Oh, you like her too, Chandler? From Monica?
Yeah.
I gotta go move boxes.
It is quite something to have her come in and just all of a sudden soak up all of Joey's time, because I feel like there could have been a moment. Yeah, you had to have somebody lined up here who would be a good distraction. This is a good distraction because it could have made Joey a very sad character here to be on his own with no promises or aspirations. Just Chandler's moved out and he's left him on his own and he doesn't really know what he's doing. To put super hot girl in there does change things. Although it's short term, it's not great. I agree with you. It's not. I think a lot of people don't love this character, but I think you had to give Joey something.
I liked her the most at first, when she's introduced to the group and is just not playing into Joey's advances at all. I find that the funniest out of her. When she's introduced and he's all, "How you doing?" and she's just not responding to it the way that he would expect. I find that the funniest because it's Joey, your advances don't work on everyone, and she is completely oblivious that you're even trying to flirt with her. She's just not into you, dude. And I like that portion. It's when things start to then shift,
but it's because I was trying to
repel
you.
Right. Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
by the way, we haven't mentioned this. This is Elle Macpherson, by the way, that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
If you have not seen it or weren't aware. So at this point in time, she's pinnacle. She's on all the magazine covers. Everybody cares about what she's doing. I'm actually kind of surprised that she chose to do Friends, but maybe that speaks to how big a show Friends was at this point in time, too.
I think so. Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate also how the guys are trying to remind Joey that if she's your roommate, you probably shouldn't be hitting on her at the same time because you guys are going to be living together. And if that doesn't work out, it's not going to be so great. Joey doesn't really take this advice, though, does he?
No, but Chandler does his best because he equates her to some other girl that Joey dated. Again, a character that we never meet. And the idea of, remember when you guys bumped into each other at the grocery store?
How weird that was.
Oh, yeah. He's like, now imagine you live at the grocery store. Okay. No.
Oh,
he's like, oh, that would be terrible. It's like, right. Well, that would be the situation. If you guys break up, all of a sudden you're now here all the time. And that's going to be weird. I also like Ross for his selfish interests, where he's like, listen, if you date her, then I can't date her.
Yeah.
How soon do we forget about Rachel, your ex-wife?
Yeah, well, I also like Ross's line when Chandler is deciding to clean the apartment and Ross is like, have you ever met Monica? She needs things exactly as they are. And he's like, you know what? Actually, this is great because when you have to move back in with Joey, his hot new roommate can then move in with me.
There you go.
Yeah. Ross's logic here. I'm sure it would work out exactly that way, Ross, because she would need to obviously stay within the friend group. Oh, gosh. Oh.
It doesn't make a ton of sense.
The Ross logic of it all.
Yeah. That being said, I do like in this whole thing when Joey comes over and talks to Chandler and Ross, and he's like, listen, you guys repel women all the time. How do I do that? How do I do that? And Ross is like, we don't repel women. Chandler's like, yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We're the worst.
Yeah.
And so they try to give him tips on how to repel women, and Joey starts doing like random drum beats, like at the end of a joke. It's like, because Chandler is giving him that punchline, like, well, I would be at the end of a sentence and then go boom boom. Like, girls don't like that.
No, right? Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate Ross trying to explain that he doesn't repel women with his line, "Hey, I've been married 3 times," and Chandler just does a slow clap for him.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying you have repelled women from marriage 3 times.
Yeah, this is not good. In addition to all of the other situations, it's yeah, I appreciate that.
It's something, but I do like, going into this whole Chandler and Monica side.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like,
Chandler is going out of his way to do something super nice. He wants to clean the apartment and show Monica that, he's deserving, I guess, of being a roommate. Mm-hmm. And so he's going to clean everything while she's gone. And of course, he moves everything and has no idea where it goes. And I just can't think that was ever a good idea. Like, I understand that when you're cleaning things, you got to take everything down and you got to put it all back. But how did you not think that any of this stuff is like you moved all the stuff out of the kitchen and all like the living room furniture at the same time?
And can I also just note that this apartment, when he declared he wanted to clean the whole thing for Monica, I'm looking around like it looks perfect.
Like it's already clean, but
it looked perfect. There was nothing that needed to be done at all.
He's trying to do something nice.
Oh,
and
he was coming from a good place. Yeah.
Like I was saying in our last episode, this just hammers home. Monica likes things exactly the way they are. She wants things neat. Yes. She wants to be in control of all this. This is a whole storyline built to do that, and also built to be like, it's okay that, she emphasized that Chandler doesn't have to be responsible for making things neat just because she wants things to be neat. She's like, that's my thing. I'll deal with that.
Which I don't know if I fully buy that, but I like that she said it.
I think saying it is important.
saying it is a step in the right direction. I'm not quite sure I buy that, but Eric,
I wholeheartedly don't fully buy into that, but at the same time, he's also going to bend in that same direction and do the best he can to keep things as neat as possible, while at the same time not being responsible for keeping them like elite level clean. I think that's the agreement that they can come to.
So there's one scene in this episode that just kills me every time.
Yes,
and
I know where you're going already.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't know this line. It's one of those lines that you really can't use often because there aren't a lot of situations for it in my life anyway. But it's just hilarious, and I will just okay. I'll just get there. So I feel like I talk like Ross sometimes and take a long time to get to the point. Sorry about that. But it's when Monica is coming home, and Chandler won't let her in. Because he doesn't want her to see that the apartment is not perfect. So they have the door closed and he's saying, sorry, you can't come in. Ross is naked. She's like, well, why is Ross naked? And Ross is sitting there like, why does anyone have to be naked? And it's the way that Ross says that line that I just die every time. I'm like, why does anyone have to be naked?
I understand Chandler's immediate thought process.
Yes. Like you don't want to come in. That is the only reason. He can't say that he is.
Right. Yeah, he can't say that he is. That doesn't make a difference. She can come in then. And if you say anything else, it's not going to be reasonable.
No.
So say that and she'll go away. But the fact that she doesn't, and she doubles down on all these things, like, because then it's like, well, why is Ross naked? And Ross has he's on the fly here. So he's like, I had to show Chandler something is absolutely insane. And Chandler's like, what?
I guess it could have been another Kundus,
It could. Well, that's where I was going with this whole thing. And then Monica's like, oh, is that same thing that Chandler had? Oh my God. It's just getting worse.
And I think he has some of the cream left over in the bathroom. I love it. And then when she leaves, he's like, dude, what did you have?
Well, you knew that was coming too. Like, the whole audience is waiting for Ross to ask the question because Chandler's like, okay, she's gone. Let's go back to cleaning. And Ross is just staring at him like, dude, what'd you have?
But seriously, what was it? Oh my God. I just love that scene. Yeah, why does anyone have to be naked? Ross's question cracks me up.
That scene to me is the funniest scene of the show. Mm-hmm. Seconded by Joey with Janine being like that whole introduction. Those two scenes peak.
Yeah, the Rachel and Phoebe going on the run thing is absolutely bizarre. Okay, I guess this is one moment where it even for me, and you know how I love Phoebe.
Hey, you listen. But you just said earlier in our last podcast that you love the scenes where Phoebe's being a crazy person, and I was wondering. I'm like, we're going to end up getting later this week talking about Phoebe running, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
So the two things that I really appreciate out of this storyline is calling out Rachel, which they don't do directly here. Hey, she says she doesn't embarrass easy, if we remember in that in the argument back and forth with Ross. Well, she cannot even handle being around Phoebe when she's running all crazy around a bunch of people that they're never going to see again, to Phoebe's point. And she is so embarrassed by this. And she even says that. It's like, I can't handle it. So she, as you and I said, Eric, when she claimed that she doesn't embarrass easy, that's just BS. Like, we know that that's not true. She
that
totally
is BS.
Yeah, she totally does, and probably is one of the more uptight ones in the group with stuff like that. But I also just love Phoebe's line where she's explaining to Rachel how it's like, hey, like when you're a kid and you're running toward the swings or running away from Satan, the neighbor's dog. Yeah, just cracks me up. But
it's an important pause there.
Yeah.
It's an important pause there because it's like running away from Satan, and everyone's like, "What?" The neighbor's dog. Yeah. Oh, right, okay,
right, and
more questions.
But yeah, Rachel confesses. She's like, "Listen, there are people here, with eyes," and Phoebe's like, well, listen, okay, I know that it's okay. You're just uptight like that. And Rachel does not like that at all. So I do also appreciate her then wanting to embrace Phoebe's ways. And I think living with Phoebe is probably good for Rachel, brings her out of her shell a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, has her just
well, and by the end of this, she does attempt to do this by running like Phoebe.
Yes.
Through the park, and found it, invigorating to do. That being said, I don't envision Rachel doing that ever again.
No, well, she did run directly into a horse too, so that didn't.
Well, yeah, but then she took off running like she typically would.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that she would go right back to her
yes
running that she was doing. It's one of those things where, yes, these are people that you're near that have eyes. And you're right, Phoebe, you're probably never going to see them again. But I fully understand Rachel's perspective of not wanting to look like a fool in front of people who you don't even know or care about at all.
Yeah.
It's still just one of those things where you kind of want to fit into the social graces, and Phoebe's not fitting in ever. So
yeah, she just wants to fly under the radar, and Phoebe's just like doesn't even notice the radar. But I also like the beginning of this episode when Rachel's first moving in and they're trying to figure out the answering machine, because that storyline always comes up with these living situations, because hello, we all had answering machines back then. And Rachel trying to outsmart Phoebe by like taking out a word, and she was trying to steal all the good words in their joint message.
A word. She actually added
she added a word, and so she still kept
hello everybody.
Yes.
It's Rachel and Phoebe's Hey.
Yeah. But then you've met your match, Rachel Green, because Phoebe just recorded the whole thing. So
You took all the words. That's right.
that's right. Yeah. Because Rachel can be clever like that. So.
Storylines that don't exist today anymore.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Like that. But hey, you know what? I will say, at least Joey having Janine move in, you know what? She's older than 19. So I guess there's that.
Well, there is that. She doesn't quite fit the description of his ad that went out, but it is what it is. But we move. We move now to season 6, episode 8, the one with Ross's teeth. And Amanda, this one feels right in your wheelhouse. So we have Chandler trying to convince Joey that his apartment is not manly enough anymore as Janine is getting things moved in. And I'm curious as to how you feel about this storyline. But we also have Ross going on a date with Hillary, and he whitens his teeth in preparation for the date to an extreme level. And we also have Phoebe going to use Rachel's work copier, where she then makes out with Ralph Lauren, who's not actually Ralph Lauren, and this just sends Rachel's existence at work into a bit of a tailspin.
That's Kenny, the copy boy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that storyline is hilarious. We get to see Kim again from The Office, her boss, and Phoebe. First, I love how Phoebe doesn't even remember that Rachel got this job. That was so great in the beginning when she's.
It's kind of worth mentioning because it's one of those things where if you said, "Oh, Rachel works at Bloomingdale's," everybody would be like, "Well, yeah." Except that she doesn't. She works at Ralph Lauren. We just only saw one episode.
I love that.
Maybe 2 with her associated with it. So, yeah, there were 2. There was her actually working there, smoking.
Yes.
And her getting the job. That's it. That's all we have. And that was a while ago now. So
yeah, so I feel like
it's worth mentioning.
I like that a lot because I feel like how Phoebe felt about it was probably how the audience felt about it. So it's like, I got a job at Ralph Lauren. Congratulations! A year ago. Well, great job making a whole year.
There you go.
And she immediately though is making out with people at Rachel's office. I'm like, oh, Phoebe, this is not great, but and maybe I should ask people if they're married before I start making out with them. Phoebe having this revelation, and it's great. And Rachel then basically uses this to try to connect with her boss because she's really not wanting to really talk with her at all about her report that she had to present, and is just really only interested when she's like, hey, you want some juicy gossip? And spills it, except then she finds out, oh wait, Phoebe actually didn't even make out with Ralph Lauren, so she's kind of spreading lies at this point. This whole sequence is great, especially at the end when it comes out that Kim actually made out with Kenny the copy guy too. So priceless.
Yeah, I will say I do like the sequencing in the elevator.
Yes.
Where they have Rachel telling Kim and then Ralph Lauren actually getting on the elevator and Rachel saying nothing. And then Kim be like, oh, you could cut the tension with a knife. Yeah. And then they do like the exact same scene, except Rachel has now said that they broke up and that he doesn't want anything to do with me. And he comes in again. It's the exact same thing. And she's like, oh my God, he just gave you the coldest shoulder ever.
It's just so true.
Kim's adding all this.
People just read whatever
context
they want.
That doesn't exist.
Yes. People just read whatever they want into a situation. It's so funny. I love that because that totally happens. And then she confesses. She's like, well, we've all been there. She's like, oh, you and Ralph? Me, Kenny, the copy boy. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Kenny's really he's making his way around the office apparently. So
he apparently is. And I'll tell you what. I do like that this episode starts with, Rachel not being fond or thinking her boss doesn't like her, and them all realizing that, hey, my boss doesn't like me either. My boss doesn't like me either. And that's when Joey gets to be like, well, maybe it's because you're all sitting around here on a Wednesday at 11 o'clock having coffee.
I love that.
And they're like, oh, we should go to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's a universal
it's just
thing.
addressing it's addressing the elephant in the room, which is you guys all have these jobs and you all make enough money to have these apartments. When do you go to work?
Yes.
When do you go to work? Like, I've seen people put the reels out there that say, like, the thing that bothers me the most is that I grew up thinking that I would be able to, like, have breakfast with my friends before work.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that does not happen.
No.
Like, the fact that Joey and Chandler would come over and Ross would come over and Rachel and Monica would be there and then have breakfast in the morning and then everybody would go to lunch or go to work. That does not exist.
They're all just
That's
casually hanging out all the time. Yeah, this is not a thing.
Like, unless that is happening at 5 a.m.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, that's not happening.
Clearly, they're eating breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning, casually walking around. No big deal. Yeah, that's great. So what I appreciate about the Joey and Chandler storyline, with Chandler feeling as though Joey's apartment is getting too girly, is that
Yes.
Chandler, this is really more about Chandler, I think, really wanting, he was hoping that Joey's, I think, was still going to be a guy pad, right? Like, he was hoping that this was still going to be the place that he could go to hang out and they could just watch Baywatch and hang out and drink some beers and hammer up some drywall, as Monica says later, which is funny.
Yeah. Although neither of them are hammering up drywall.
No.
Like, maybe Joey.
No,
maybe.
this is not.
But,
I mean, listen, they don't need to be doing any of this. Even when they had the holes in the wall, no one was fixing this. So either way, I think that what this is really about is things have gotten kind of girly for Chandler over living with Monica, and he kind of was hoping that it was going to remain more masculine at Joey's. And when things are taking a turn, because now Joey's living with Janine, who's starting to put some of her own decorations around and artwork around, Chandler has a big problem with this, which also is very, I feel like, inconsistent with his character, but it is funny. It's like Chandler is not the guy's guy, which they do point out. It's like, I wouldn't have thought that you would be the one to really care about this, but
no.
But yeah, and
well, I think what's happening is, to me, it becomes less. It comes out as this is not a guy's apartment anymore, right? But what Chandler's really having a hard time with is, this is not my apartment anymore.
yes.
And so when he goes and takes a look at what Janine's done with his room, and of course Joey
So
says, "Hey,
different.
don't go through her stuff. She doesn't like that." It's like,
Oh my god,
Yeah,
Joey. No kidding.
but he goes to look, he's like, "Oh my god, it's like a guy never lived in here," and it's like, well, yeah.
It's a lot of change,
like,
all at once.
It's a lot of change all at once, and Joey is resistant upon Chandler's request, really. But then
He doesn't care at
but
first.
then
Yeah.
he settles in and is a whole lot less resistant as things go. But it's
I love
definitely
his-
something where all of a sudden, Chandler's living with a female roommate, so is Joey. And we're starting to see just some softer touches all over the place. And it's definitely tough for Chandler. It is definitely against character for Chandler to be like, this isn't manly enough. But it is got to be difficult for Chandler to watch what was his place fade.
That's right.
Because Monica's place isn't changing.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like him having to let go of the space that he'd lived in for so long. And I love the line from Joey when he's pointing out the Ann Geddes picture, which she's the famous photographer who takes pictures of babies often surrounded by flowers. And Joey's like, look, I don't know this baby. I don't know if she's a famous artist or not.
Yeah. But he tries to explain it to Chandler by saying, it's a famous artist. of a famous baby
Yes.
with a famous baby, or a famous painting of a famous baby. Like, he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But yeah. And then I also will say, one of the sneakier scenes in this, I feel like, is when Chandler is saying to Monica after like hemming a dust ruffle with her, like, you know what? I think I've had enough of like the girly stuff. I kind of need to just like be a guy right now. And I understand that. I understand it doesn't have to be like hammering up drywall, which is what Monica gets to. But, you know, you could do something that's not sewing. And he goes over to Joey's and they're like making, what is it? What are they
Pot
doing?
holders.
Yeah, they're making pot holders. Because I guess Chandler wasn't doing the sewing yet. That was next. They were making the potpourri is what they were doing.
That's right.
But then he goes over to Ross's, and Ross is putting makeup on to try and hide his teeth, which we'll get to. And he's like, "Where are all the men?" And it's just a sequence that has not existed at any point in time before, but it's all happening at once. And it's just kind of funny that they're pointing that out, that all the guys are doing something a little bit more feminine at that moment.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's really funny.
A storyline that probably also wouldn't be played today.
Yeah, I mean, but it just rings true. It's like, listen, if you're used to your friends behaving in a certain way and having certain interests, and then all of a sudden things change, whether it's toward whether it has anything to do with femininity or masculinity, it's just dealing with that change and shift. It's like, hey, this isn't sitting well with me. It's like, I want to go back to how things were.
Well,
So,
and like,
that's,
so Monica, right? She's got the change, but the change is Chandler's going to come live here, but it's fine because still my place. Rachel is going to come back and be like, that's still the place I used to live in. Right? Joey still gets to live in his place, and any changes are fine with him because he already lives there. Yeah. Chandler's the only one who has to really deal with the change because he has to go next door and see what he thought was like an extension to the apartment that he lived in, not really being there anymore, and watching his room get changed dramatically. So to be fair to Chandler, he is going through the most change at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And I also think it's really funny that in the end, Joey just wants all of the feminine stuff in his room.
That is
he really
amazing.
Doesn't want to get rid of it. He actually loves it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we don't have to get rid of it. We can just put it in my room. And Janine,
would you like me to put it all in my room? That'd be good. That'd be good. Well, you know, except for maybe the painting of the baby and the watering can and this over here. Like, yep. Do you want me to put it all in your room, Joey? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Good.
Let's just hide it out of the main, so it won't be in the main space.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy it.
Which is basically what they do. They can, and then Joey and Chandler's apartment is kind of visually what it is the rest of the way. Like, they don't do any major changes with it from this point on. So that apartment will always look the same regardless of who's living there. And so the idea, though, is that all these feminine things are now in Joey's room, which you don't get to see a whole lot of.
Hey, Joey says, it's not what you said. It's the way you said it. Oh my God, I'm a woman.
It's true. It's true. So let's talk about the teeth.
Oh my God.
What do you make of the teeth?
And the teeth, him showing up at Central Perk, and then when Rachel comes in and he's like, hey, did you notice anything? Your teeth? Yeah, I saw them from outside. That's so great from Rachel. I love that. Or even before that, when Rachel, she finds out that Monica is going to set Ross up with someone. Oh, you're setting Ross up with someone? Does she have a wedding dress? Rachel has these great, like really good digs at Ross here. And it's funny. I really enjoy Rachel in this episode.
But this is my favorite, like when they're broken up, but like, still making jabs at each other. But clearly still are friends. This is the best.
Yes,
These are the best windows of time.
Yeah, but then we have Ross actually on this date. And listen, okay, this is what I have to say. If you actually did this to yourself, so first of all, he left this whitener on overnight, you would be in so much pain. I
Probably.
feel like I've done whitening strips like only a handful of times. I feel like they're not quite that great. I don't know. Whatever Ross used was clearly extremely powerful. He left it on for so long that, yeah, I don't think you'd be able to drink any beverages at all, or it would be tough to eat anything because you've just stripped so much off of your teeth. Either way, he does decide to still go on this date, which is wild. You would think if you really cared that much and wanted to make a good impression and you felt like you wouldn't be able to just explain it away, just reschedule. What are you doing here? Just say something came up. I don't know. Either way, he's trying to take like bread and obscure his mouth.
The bread is, I think he's done a very creative job of hiding his mouth the whole way. My issue with the bread is you put the bread back in the bread basket. Just put it on your plate and nobody will care.
Or just, I don't know. It's so bad. Or him just like coming off as being a really good listener because he's just mumbling things back to her or just nodding and kind of talking through his teeth, not opening his mouth at all. This is so weird. Like, if I was her, I would be so creeped out by this.
Don't disagree. The date is weird because he's not saying words. And you have to be able to speak. You can't just your way through a date. Like, there's no way you're going back to her apartment afterwards. Or you're already there. I guess you're already there, but you're not going to like continue that date. You're going to be like, get out. That being said, I have to be honest. Is this really like a crazy deal breaker? The white teeth?
This woman, the way that she reacts, I'm like, Ross, you dodged a bullet here. This person is horrible.
Well, but like not only that, but the way that Monica and Chandler and Rachel are like reacting to how white his teeth are, is that really insane?
Yes, absolutely. I think for the friends to react that way is perfectly fine because it is insane. Like, his teeth are white. Like, it's like,
they
like
are
a sheet
white
of paper white.
Yes, no, I agree.
It looks like he has fake dentures in, which he does. But it is absolutely insane. So I think their making fun of him is totally warranted. My issue is like, listen, if I really enjoyed this guy's company, I'm on a date with him, and then like this blacklight situation happens where he smiles and he looks like the Cheshire Cat.
He does.
I would be cracking up. Like, and it's like, listen, like, that was really funny of you to try to hide this. Like, these things happen. Like, you made a mistake. We're human. Like, it for her to just be like, your teeth are insanely white. What's the matter with you? And his reaction, well, what's the matter with you? You have a black light. It's 1999. And it's like, I'm in Ross's side here.
I agree. In fact, I also think like it's fair for all of his friends to make fun of him. But I also think, like, the degree at which they're making fun of him is over the top. And, like, the fact that Ross is trying to, like, put on makeup and wear 19 different color shirts to, like, hide the whiteness of his teeth. I mean, bro, it's fine. They're just a little extra white. It's going to be okay.
Oh, gosh. And right, if he was that concerned with it, he should have just rescheduled, right? If he really didn't want to expose, because there's no way you can get through a date without showing your teeth. Like, it's going to happen.
No, and so the black light comes on, right, too. Her teeth are also lit up in the black light, just to be fair.
I was just going to say that, too.
I mean, they're not as lit up as his are.
Nowhere near as lit up.
His look like they're radiating from the sun, but her teeth are also lit up. Like, people's teeth will light up. They're white.
Yeah.
Even if your teeth are not the most white, they're still lighting up in a black light. So I feel like it's a little aggressive.
I feel like nowadays the move would be, before they met, he probably would have sent a text being like, oh, by the way, I had a bleaching teeth incident last night and it's going to be a little intense. This is not how I normally look.
I want to wear some sunglasses.
Get ahead of that. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of maybe what someone would do. I don't know.
I mean,
If you
even
still
if you
really
didn't-
wanted to meet. Yeah.
I think if you didn't, you would just like, I think it would be a really like funny story to tell
I agree.
at the dinner table. You know, like I think that just is a great way to break the ice.
And
That being said,
and if she is really reacting like this again, Ross, you dodged a bullet here. This is not a very nice person. So,
no, apparently not. And I'm moving away. I was reaching for my phone, which I usually keep on the ground during this whole thing. I feel like I know that actress from somewhere too. And I'm trying to pull it up.
Yeah, I did look her up. It's Missy Pyle. She was on Galaxy Quest, and also Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Those are the things that I knew her from, but she's been in a few other things too. You might have known her from something else, but it was Galaxy Quest that I recognized her from.
So I will say I've seen Galaxy Quest like once.
Yeah.
I have seen Harold and Kumar probably more recently, which tells you how long it's been since I've seen Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
But like, I might recognize her from that more. I'm going to look it up while we move on, and I'll see if I can find something else. But we'll continue on. Now we're going to jump into our IMDb ratings segment of this episode, where we talk about our ratings versus your ratings as they are on IMDb, plus our favorite and least favorite characters from these two episodes combined. I had a hard time here with favorite character. I had it narrowed down to a couple, and then there was always like another one that kept like sneaking their way in and like getting involved. So I'm not super married to this decision, but it's the decision that I'm making, and I'm going with Joey again.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I picked Joey on the last two episodes. In fact, you picked him even the two episodes prior to that. And it's funny because as I look back at our favorites, there was a long stretch at the end of season 5 and the beginning of season 4 where he was unanimously our least favorite character over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But here, I've got him back to back my favorite character. I think for me, I don't mind the story with him and Jeanette and Chandler. Like that storyline is fine for me. And I also like the one before that, where Joey is bringing in Jeanette to the apartment and we're learning about her.
Janine.
And what did I say?
Jeanette.
I'm sorry. No, this is my How I Met Your Mother coming in.
Thank you for bringing her into my life. Oh yeah, that's right. Jeanette was from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
that's right.
But where Joey brings in Janine and Ross is super thankful and he's got to turn down the charm and like, oh, I think you'd find it different if I turned it on. Like all these things to me make him my favorite. I think you could have made an argument for Ross. I think there's probably an argument for Chandler in here somewhere. I think there's probably even an argument for Monica in here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel and Phoebe were the ones that I was torn on at the bottom. And I will say, I'm just going to roll right through it. I'm making Phoebe my least favorite character. And maybe that goes hand in hand with what you said. When she's doing the crazy thing, I like her a little bit less. She's doing the crazy thing, I like her a little bit less.
Yeah, I was going back and forth actually between Ross and Rachel for my favorite character in these because I really appreciate the Rachel storyline with her boss in the elevator. I thought that was really funny. But I
also like that, which is why Rachel was not the bottom for me.
Sometimes it all just boils down to one line between the two episodes as to which one just sticks with me. And I love Ross's line, "Why does anybody have to be naked?"
That's fair.
And then with the teeth and just him being so insane. And I just felt like, man, Ross, like you really, I felt like that was really harsh, and he was putting himself out there, and so I felt for Ross there, and even though he was crazy for
I don't hate that. I don't hate that call.
So yeah, I went with
all.
Ross as my favorite, but I also did go with Phoebe as my least favorite for these, and it's just the running and the and her making the decision to make out with someone at Rachel's work. Like, come on, Phoebe, that's not so cool. Like, what are you doing here? So, there was a line from Phoebe where, oh my goodness, where she comes in when Monica is trying to help Ross put on muted clothes and makeup to try to tone down his teeth. And he's like, well,
Right.
I'm not 13 anymore.
Oh.
And, because clearly she used to like to do these things when he was younger, but he opens his mouth just as Phoebe walks into the apartment, and Phoebe's like, no, demon, and starts screaming.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I crack up every time there. So I do really appreciate that line. Just wanted to call back to that moment. But yeah, I felt like overall Phoebe just wasn't as highlighted in these, and when she was, the running bit just wasn't quite as good as the other bits. So yeah,
I have to go back just in time and say, because I was talking about, well, I recognize this girl from somewhere. Okay.
Oh yes.
As I'm scrolling through her IMDb, the amount of things that this girl is in is unbelievable.
Missy Pyle. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What is there something?
But
that
I
out?
will say where I recognize her from is that she was in Dodgeball.
Oh, okay.
She played like,
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
She played like on the Russian team, and they put like a unibrow on her and stuff like that.
Oh my god. Yes. Okay.
But she's in like every drama or sitcom that's ever been as like a one part, thing.
Yeah, sure.
She was on Grey's Anatomy. She was on Frasier.
Okay.
She was on 50 First Dates. She was on My Name Is Earl. She was on Heroes. She was on Boston Legal, In Plain Sight. Like, she's in all Numbers, like
Law
all
and
these
Order
shows
Guaranteed
from that,
without even looking at the list. Yeah,
that time time period, all those types of shows she was in. So I don't know which one of those ones is the one that I remember her from. I'm going to stick on Dodgeball being the one that I remember her from.
Sure.
But yeah, I didn't recognize that. I didn't put the connection together.
But
I had to know before we stopped recording this.
Yeah, and she has a very distinct look. So it's like, once you see her, it's like, oh, well, yeah, like, what do I know this person from?
Like, I know you.
Yeah.
And that's what it's from.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Do you want me to get into my ratings this time?
I need you to tell me again so I can write these down for the official ranking. Your favorite and least favorite?
I gave I gave Ross was my favorite, and Phoebe was my least favorite.
And I also had Phoebe as my least favorite and had Joey as my favorite. So I don't think that is too different, to be honest with you, because I was really torn between Ross and Joey. Okay. Ratings.
Yes.
Which one did you have as your favorite?
So I went with, these were actually very close for me as well as the last ones were, but in our previous episode, but
same.
But I like these more. So I went with episode 8, the one with Ross's teeth, as a higher rated episode. I gave that one an 8.8.
I also had that as the higher one.
Okay. And what did you give it?
I gave it an 8.7.
Okay.
Which is the same as I gave the one on the last night before. 8.7, it's right there. And I think because Ross is in this, it might be a little higher. Or like, it's a more memorable Ross episode.
Sure.
But I still feel like this is just kind of a solid Friends episode. I think I'm actually going to be high on this, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay being higher on this one than others. So I'm sticking with 8.7.
Yeah. I just really like all the storylines consistently in that episode.
Agreed.
So that's just a really high score for me. And this other one, the one where Phoebe runs, I mean, yeah, the Phoebe running part, actually it's kind of funny how they named this one the one where Phoebe runs, and that other episode we're talking about earlier in the week, the one with Joey, oops, now I'm forgetting the name.
It's more Joey's Porsche.
Thank you. The one with Joey's Porsche. They're both like the side storylines, and they name the episode after that. I think they might do that to call it out because it might be less memorable. Either way, all I'm saying is even though that was probably the least significant portion of the episode, I still found it funny. I gave that one an 8.6.
Okay. So here's the funny thing. I always have my ratings written down here originally. I had it as an 8.5, which is essentially the same as what you just said, an 8.6. I've actually knocked it down to an 8.3 because after doing the podcast for this one and also the one earlier in the week, I do think I like the one with Joey's Porsche a little bit more.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this one right behind that one. Don't get me wrong. Love having the Janine introduction. Love having Chandler fixing the apartment, or where things like where Ross comes in and he says the line when he's like, "Oh, you've messed all this stuff up. Oh my God, she's going to sit on you." You know, like that being the biggest threat that Monica can do at this point.
Right. Right.
Or I really love when Joey comes in and puts his feet up and realizes that they don't reach the coffee table, and this is like a nightmare situation. Yeah, I love those scenes. But
Monica's gonna kill you.
Yeah, but the Phoebe running portion is not nearly as good. To me, I much prefer the Joey's Porsche section, which is also the weakest section of that episode. So,
right.
Since that is the case, I'm going to take this one down just a touch to an 8.3. And as I'm talking, I've got the fan votes up here as well. The fans have also voted Ross's Teeth as the higher of the two episodes. So I'll actually do this in the opposite order. So the lower of the two episodes is the one where Phoebe runs, and that they gave an 8.2. You gave that an 8.6. Okay. I gave it an 8.3. Fans have given it an 8.2. I think that's fine. I would have liked it to have been a little higher than that, but it is what it is. This one, though, is my bigger issue. This is the higher episode for them. You gave it an 8.8. I gave it an 8.7. The fans have given it an 8.3.
Oh.
I feel like that should have been at least an 8.5.
Wow, that seems harsh.
That's what I'm saying.
I disagree with that rating. I
strongly think some of that has to come from the Chandler running around not manly enough storyline.
Yeah, probably. It's a little it's just strange for his character, as we've talked about. And I also just feel like just any episode with Janine, people are not huge on. Like,
well, listen, I said that about Emily.
I'm I think
the Emily episodes all got docked because Emily was in it, and that's not fair to hit her. I certainly do not defend Janine to the way that I defended Emily. No. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to try. But I think her episodes will get hit harder.
I'm just a little bit disappointed that Joey just didn't have Eddie's number and just call him back, because that would have been great.
I think he should have called Janice.
Your face. When I said
I would have liked to have Janice get called in here and have Joey and Janice's day of fun forever and ever in the apartment.
Oh, no.
Then maybe they'd date, and then she would have hit all three of them. Like, who knows what could have happened in that situation?
I think Eddie should have brought his goldfish back and just moved right back in. And he probably thought that he never left anyway. So
nobody wants Eddie to come back. Listen, Eddie was funny. He was hilarious. No, that is nightmare fuel, right? Watching you sleep and stuff like that. No, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Again, please check us out on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We really appreciate the support as we're trying to build this community up. If you could check out our website, we run on reruns.com. You will find all of our full episodes. You can also find them on Spotify. You can find them on Apple Podcasts. You can find them on your favorite podcast player, but go check them out. We've got all of Friends through the middle of season 6, and we have Stranger Things through most of season 3 at this point. So go ahead and check those out. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching episodes 9 and 10 of season 6 for next week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you, pals.
Bye, guys.